And well, it's on point with Juandolyn Stokes, the news and talk, WAOK. Now, I know normally we start out with our morning workout, but we're not going to do the workout this morning, all right? It's okay to take a day off and to just enjoy yourselves on today. And we have a very special guest. For many of you have been calling in and wanting to hear this wonderful voice, and for him to talk about the great work that he has been doing and is currently doing, with his vision. When he came into office, he had a vision, he was focused, and I think you represent, Mayor Andre Dickens, I think you represent the bridge between generations. I think you understand the younger generations, and also you understand, because of your being in Atlanta for so long, you understand the history and our seniors and our seasoned folks. So you understand the need for preservation and keeping things that we do have here, but also innovation and moving things forward. So first of all, I want to start with your passion, and a big passion of yours has always been youth. From day one, when there was a whole lot of conversation about the water boys and what they're doing and crime, you said, listen, we've got to really put a plan together for our youth that will help them to be focused and to be encouraged and inspired, and activity to move themselves around. So tell us about some of these summer youth programs that you have.
Yeah, well, first, thank you for having me on this wonderful show, 1380 WAOK, this news and talk station. Thank you. You continue to inform the people. You're the voice of the people. Thank you, Juandolyn, for what you've been doing, and this whole, I feel good. And then just to come in on Whitney Houston, that sets the mood. It feels so good. We miss her dearly.
Yes.
But yeah, youth are my passion, to take care of our young people, give them a bright future, give them all the tools and resources and love that they need to be able to be successful, to be safe, to feel that this city and this nation cares for them.
Yeah.
Young people need so much, but they also really just need our attention. And I'm grateful that I grew up in this beautiful city that raised me in Atlanta Public Schools, and the Department of Parks and Recreation was my outlet. I knew that I had a place where I could play. I played baseball, football, basketball. I did karate. I went to programs that the city had that were free or low cost way back in my day.
Yeah.
And that helped me. So I went to school, and then my mom or a bus would take me to an after-school program or some kind of thing to keep me busy. And then I had a summer job, when I was 15. I just want that for everybody, because the village, the community, the group project will help raise these kids with us. Everybody's household isn't stable, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Everybody's household doesn't have enough food for everybody. Everybody's household doesn't have stable rent payments. They're moving every 3 or 4 months, chasing down a half-price rent, first month's rent-free. Things are just challenging. It's drugs sometimes, it's abuse. And so these kids come to school with that, or they don't come to school.
Right.
They leave school. I want us to be the best place in the country to raise a child.
Wow.
That's my North Star. That's literally what I go to work every day and every night for. And so we created these programs. I declared it the Year of the Youth in Atlanta in 2023.
I like that.
It went so well. We declared it the Year of the Youth again in 2024. And guess what? We're in 2025, and it's the Year of the Youth again.
Year of the Youth.
So
I love
every year of my administration is going to be the Year of the Youth. And what does that mean? That means that if it's free or reduced after-school programs, or every kid gets a summer job, we have 6,000 teenagers right now making a minimum of $15 an hour in our city.
Wow.
6,000 of them. And when you look at it, that they're able to earn while they learn. They got a boss that cares about them. They know that if times get tough, when they're back in school, they got some adult that they've been talking to that's been kind of mentoring them and advising them on this job. But that person can be kind of like a liaison to them and an inspiration to them for, when things get tough when you're a teenager. And all of that has brought crime down.
Yes.
When you go out there and you give them a job, really they earn a job and they work at that job. They have enough money to buy fancy jeans or to go buy a movie ticket or to be able to go to Six Flags. that has made a tremendous difference. And so with the Water Boys, we share with them entrepreneurship. Like, you guys are out here buying water from the gas station or the grocery store, and then you're standing on this hot corner selling this water. And it's dangerous. You're darting out cars, and you're a 14-year-old, you weigh 118 pounds.
Yeah.
Somebody knows you got $200 in your pocket.
Right. That's right.
And somebody that's a little older and a little heavier is saying that's a good ATM, young ATM.
Yes.
And they come take it.
Yes.
That was what was happening. And so now you don't see that water boy activity as much because we taught them entrepreneurship skills. They're selling hats and clothes. They're making their own T-shirts in our design lab. They're making beats that we're paying them $15, $20 an hour to learn how to make beats and shop their beats. We're teaching them all these skills, and we actually do have a water program. The Boys in the Hood, our water Boys in the Hood, is a water program. They now sell their water in stores. They sell their water to small businesses that, in your refrigerator you can have Dasani, you could have Fiji, or you can have Water Boys water.
Yeah.
So this is a way to bring this all together, so they don't have to stand on the corner anymore. And we reduced that greatly. Now, somebody one day might pop up on the corner on a Saturday, but we try to give them options at Promise Centers or our programs of entrepreneurship.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. Teaching them entrepreneurship, teaching them skills, motivating and exciting them. What would you say, Mayor Dickens, that young people learn by doing sports? Yeah. What skills are developed through that?
Sports helps them learn teamwork. Helps them learn how to resolve conflicts, because you got sportsmanship. You got somebody on the other side of that ball, somebody on the other side of that court or field, and they're your competitor. But at the end of the day, I remember at the end of all those games I was a part of as a baseball player, at the end of the game, the coaches say, line up, and you walk by the team that beat you or that you won, and you say, good game, good to see you, good game. You don't fight. You say, we're going to get better. We're going to try this tomorrow. And you go back to the dugout, or you go back to the huddle or the locker room, and you figure out how to get better, and we do it as a team. That's conflict resolution. If you're in sports, you learn how to just say, hey, I disagree, and this is what we're going to do about it. We're not going to fight. We're not going to take up arms and fight or pull out weapons. We're going to resolve these conflicts. And then you also learn that discipline.
Yes.
To get good at a thing, you have to practice.
That's right.
To get really good at basketball, to get really good at football, to get really good at baseball, you got to practice. And it teaches you, look at that guy or look at that young lady. She's really good. And you find out, she spends a little bit more time practicing than I do. So now I need to make myself more focused. And I think for a community, we have to continue to give these youth outlets. If these idle time is the devil's workshop.
Yeah. That's what they told us.
That's what they told us in church. And it plays out that way. But if they're inside of our recreation centers, or if they're in a school gym, or if they're in some sort of camp or program, doing sports has been helpful. And nowadays, you got all kinds of sports, by the way.
That's true.
I've just talked about athletic sports, but you also have esports, gaming.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
You can be a game. And Atlanta is one of the esports headquarters. We have the largest esports competitions here. And we've taken hold of that. At our recreation centers, we've opened up 2 esports labs where young people can go in there and compete against folks all around the world.
That's great.
Or right in our own, communities and across the city. Thomasville is competing against Grove Park, playing games and it's bringing about another set of teamwork.
That's what I call moving it forward, and innovation, and your background in technology and your love for that as well. Yes. We'll go to break, Mayor, and when we come back, we'll talk about some non-policing efforts and housing and some of the greater things that you're doing as well. We'll go to break. It's On Point with Juandolyn Stokes for News and Talk, 1380 WAOK. Welcome back to On Point with Juandolyn Stokes. Some people call him the mayor. Some people call him Andre. Some call him Dre.
Yeah.
And some call him Mayor Andre Dickens. Listen, we're glad to have you to share with us today. Continue to talk to us about some of the non-policing efforts that you've been doing.
Yeah. It is so important to have policing and non-policing activities to make sure you bring down violent crime. In 2021, this city had a lot of violence. 2020 as well, because of the pandemic and other factors. So what we've been doing is in the non-policing category is supporting our youth. I said at that time when I was running for mayor, I said, if we bring down youth crime, we bring down crime overall. And we get a hold of these young people, give them so many things to do, the things I mentioned around making sure they have after-school programs, keeping them busy, and the summer jobs program that we have with 6,000 youth working, and all the things we've done with mentorship in this year of the youth. Got the 100 Black men involved.
Yes.
The Emerging 100. We got Big Brothers, Big Sisters, Boys and Girls Club. Like everybody that's doing something, we gave them money to help them do more. And then the other part to non-policing is we have a new care unit. And this is a police unit of folks that are unarmed.
Okay.
Their job is to go out there and just do community policing. And so car accidents, lost and found stuff, a stalled vehicle, if your grandmother or grandfather has dementia and they're lost, and these kind of things. These people are out there unarmed. You come up to them or you call 911 or 311 and they can help resolve issues that doesn't take a police officer to do. In a car accident, if a sworn police officer goes out there, they're stuck for 45 minutes writing the documentation, waiting on a tow truck, trying to make sure the traffic goes around. But that sworn police officer needs to be driving around your neighborhood, making sure nobody's breaking in your house, or driving around businesses, making sure nobody's breaking in businesses. So once you take an officer off the street for 45 minutes, that's 1/8 of their shift.
That's
right.
True.
So you get 2 car accidents and you've really done no policing. You've just done traffic management. And so we got this care unit that's doing that. That's innovative. And so they resolve 1,800 issues about every other month. It's like they're just out there helping. And so that's one thing. And then we have a park ranger group. So we don't want any crimes in our parks. We want people to enjoy the park. So inside of the parks now, you have park rangers. They're, police officers that you can go up to and say, hey, I'm missing something, or I lost this, or they're just walking around so that people don't do bad things in the park, because it's a free space, and you can be drug dealing in the park, or you can be throwing a Frisbee in the park. We want you to throw in a Frisbee. And so when you see a park ranger there, you're like, okay, I can't do anything crazy. And so we also started the nightlife division. Okay. And that nightlife division is where we work directly with our nightlife and entertainment. That could be clubs, lounges, bars, but also skating rinks, bowling alleys, Top Golf, everything. That's nightlife. Things that are open past, 10 p.m. In the past, that's when things might get a little edgy,
That's right.
People have a lot of things to drink. Who's this, just talking to my girl. All that stuff leads to stuff. So we've trained these nightlife operators on how to look for signs of too much intoxication, how to deal with that, how to de-escalate issues. This guy is about to fight that guy. They can't bring weapons into your club, so you think you're safe. Yeah. Well, all you're doing when you kick them both out is they both go to their cars and start shooting in the parking lot. So we've trained them on how to de-escalate things, get the aggressor out, let him go on his way, get all the way up I-75, 2090, whatever you're going to go. Go and get up out of here. And then you let the other guy go, and they done forgot what they was fighting about, and next thing you know, the club can go back to business. So this stuff has resulted in a reduction in crime and violence at our nightlife, where you can now just go out and have a good time with your friends and not have to worry about, is it going to get messy? Is it going to get dangerous? Same thing with the parks. Our parks are thriving. Same thing with the Beltline. The Beltline has millions of people on it every year now, and they're safe. And so the other things that we're doing around our youth, around our nightlife establishments, was we found that domestic violence was our second or third highest homicide category. Oh, wow! In this city, 2 or 3 years ago, it was escalated disputes, which is two people that just got into it and one shot the other. We had narcotics, and then we had domestic violence, and so now we've gotten domestic violence way down. Okay. And that was the No More campaign. No more domestic violence. You see something, say something. Here's a hotline. Here's a number. We will help you in this situation. Young ladies were afraid to, hey, we're seeing bruises on you. Yeah. We're seeing a fear that's in you. Why didn't you come to work today? Why you don't come to choir practice anymore? What's going on? Are you okay? Yeah. And we started being able to have conversations around this. And so the PSAs went out, and we've seen a tremendous reduction in domestic violence. That's great. So all these things, none of that required a badge and a gun. Right. That stuff was done about us saying we're going to love on each other as a community, and working with the clergy. So people that are doing stuff like Silence the Shame, about mental health, people that might have decided to take their life or take someone else's life, we're reducing those things as well. So those are non-policing activities.
Wow, that's great. And that's making a difference and showing a lot of care and sensitivity and consciousness.
And one thing else, last thing I'll say about that, Juandolyn, this is stuff that we've templated and make sure that people know about how to do that.
Okay.
And so crime is down 50% homicide reduction since I took office.
That's
the
great.
last 3.5 years, you got a 50% reduction in homicides. This current year right now, we're at a 30% reduction from year over year. There was an article that's out about black mayors across this country that's been bringing down violence, whether that's L.A., Baltimore, Birmingham, Chicago.
Yeah.
We all have double digits or more reductions in homicides and violence. We had about a 25% reduction in people being shot in this city. Now, I know when you turn on your TV and news, they got to find something, and they're going to say it's Atlanta. That thing might have happened in Athens, or they're going to say it's ATL.
Right, that's right.
Might have happened in some suburban city, but they got to put an ATL on it.
Yeah.
It all didn't happen in A, but
Yeah. And that's why I'm glad you're sharing this, the reductions and the success stories of how you're decreasing and the reduction in crime. Talk to us, Mayor, about a lot of the housing efforts that you've made.
Yeah, housing is so important. When we look around, this city is growing so fast. We don't want to become a victim of our own success, like San Francisco and Portland. These places have no middle class anymore, and you can barely find an apartment for under $3,000 or $4,000. Incomes haven't kept up with the cost of rising housing costs. It's expensive now. Materials are expensive, and then the current occupant of the White House has now made tariffs that's making the cost of things even more expensive.
Yeah.
You can't buy a wash and dryer or a sink or a tub or a refrigerator now for the same price you could 6 or 7 months ago because of these tariffs. Everything has gone up, and sticks and bricks have gone up too. So the cost to construct things, the salaries of the labor workers have gone up. So it's expensive to build housing and to preserve housing, but we've got to do it. So I set a goal of building or retaining or preserving 20,000 units of affordable housing between 2022 and 2030. And so far, we're at 3.5 years, and we've already built about 7,000 units that families are living in. Families and seniors are living in these units already, and I got about another 4,500 to 5,000 under construction right now. So those are delivered in the next year or two. And so we're just going to keep on going till we hit the 20,000 and actually try to surpass that. These are sometimes apartments. These are sometimes townhomes. These are sometimes single-family housing units, whether that's working with Habitat for Humanity, working with the Atlanta Housing Authority, working with the Beltline, Invest Atlanta, even with APS. We just did a land swap with the Atlanta Public Schools so that now we have some of their old school properties that we can either tear down or renovate into lofts or apartments and preserve them for teachers or for bus drivers or cafeteria workers. They need housing.
Wow, that's great. I mean, your plan, your vision, what you've done, what you're working on, and what is to come as a part of your legacy. Tell us about food access here in Atlanta.
Yeah, so, this state of Georgia, 1 in 7 people have food insecurity. And food insecurity means that you are a long distance from fresh food access. So you may live in a neighborhood that you getting your groceries from the gas station or the Family Dollar, instead of fresh food that you can get from the grocery store, because in certain parts of town on the south side, southwest, southeast Atlanta, they don't have grocery stores that are accessible. They don't have many grocery stores that are at all. And the ones, sometimes they have grocery stores that are they're kind of just not quality, right?
Right.
They need some TLC. They needed some help. The big chains, I don't want to say their names, but the big chains, they didn't want to invest down there for this reason or that reason.
That's right.
And so now these folks, you're going to the gas station or the Family Dollar or the Dollar Tree to get a box of macaroni and cheese or some Vienna sausages that's in a can or some canned goods. We want fresh food, healthy food that's going to make sure that you get the right proteins and the right, things that help you have the energy to go to school. When you're hungry, trying to go to school, you got bad outcomes because you can't think well when you're on an empty stomach. And you also got the weekends where these kids don't sometimes eat. Because they don't. The parents don't have enough money or food stamps. Or the SNAP program, which ain't a city program. Right.
Ain't
the mayor's fault now. But these things have dropped. Some people only getting like $50 a whole month.
Yeah.
And so we have created grocery stores. I've invested, we got 2 grocery stores that we're building that are municipal city public-private partnerships, one downtown and one on Campbellton Road. And also just yesterday, we opened a new Gooder grocery store, which is our 3rd one. And this one is on Edgewood, where we're feeding people for low cost and some for free.
That is great. And this is what the residents of Atlanta need to know.
Yeah.
Mayor, we wish you so much more success. The way your brain operates is just crazy. I mean, but it's good. And that's why your leadership has certainly demonstrated what is needed for the city of Atlanta. Tell us one thing about the city of Atlanta that we don't know.
Oh man, you know what? The biggest secret about Atlanta is that if you live in Atlanta for more than 5 minutes, you are an ATLian because you're going to get that spirit poured all over you. So it's a little known secret, but everybody got that ATL little love already over them. So I was born here, but even if you flew here and I grew here, you got ATL all over you. So that you heard it from me. You got it. You just got blessed and ordained with an ATL sprinkle of love.
You just heard from Dre the rapper and Reverend Dickens and also the Mayor Dickens, right? Thank you so very much. We love you much and wish you continued success. How can people stay connected to you? Your website?
Yeah. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
I want you all to follow me on Andre for Atlanta, Andre FOR Atlanta on social media, AndreForAtlanta.com. You can find out about me on my campaign. And listen, if you're watching ATL, Scoop, and Georgia Falls and all these other things showing you crazy stuff that's happening in Atlanta, like a man riding a bird scooter on the highway, you need some counterbalance in your life. Follow Andre for Atlanta and City of Atlanta so you can see some good news. You can learn about a grant program. You can put your little kid in some kind of after-school program or a summer program for free or low cost. You need to have some balance in your life so you'll be able to know that we got some good stuff happening that can change your life, help your life, and get things going. If you keep watching all the craziness, you're going to think the city crazy. It's a great place to live.
It's the ATL. We are not the little apple, but we're the big apple of the South.
That's right.
Thank you, Mayor Dickens. We appreciate you. It's On Point with Juandolyn Stokes, News and Talk, 1380. We're WAOK.